evening. This is the Vsb Tv 11 News for Thursday, July 17th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story. Premier Michael Dunkley wants to congratulate the thousands of people who marched to Government House on Tuesday to protest the governor's decision on a commission of inquiry. But he told VSB News' Brian Davey from Miami Airport this afternoon that the subsequent utterances from PLP leader Mark Bean had disappointed him.
I commend the organizers for doing a march that certainly came off very well. I'm very disappointed at some of the comments after the march by the opposition leader because I think they're really off base. You know, to me, it's just sheer nonsense for the opposition leader to call for a recall of the governor. That's something that Government House and the Foreign Commonwealth Office will have to deal with. But for Parliament to be dissolved certainly doesn't make any sense at all, and it is quite laughable when you take a look at it. Brian, we had an election in December 2012. At that point, the people of Bermuda had an opportunity to speak, and they did speak at the polls. The government was elected, and we have every intention of fulfilling the mandate and turning Bermuda around, and I think we're making progress. And so for calls such as that by the opposition leader and some of the language that unfortunately the honourable member uses at times, such as hatred, lies, manipulation, psychological warfare, and skullduggery, are not language that leaders should use in our community. While we should always be free to express our opinion, I think as leaders we have to do it in a unifying way, not in a divisive way. And so, you know, I speak out against that because it distracts from the real message that one intends to give. And so on one hand, while the opposition leader says that, his colleague, MP Ralph Commission, talks about hateful language on the blogs. And I certainly condemn that language as well, but perhaps Mr. Commission should speak to the opposition leader and get him to tone down his rhetoric and focus in on making real progress to help Bermudians get through the challenges that we face.
Premier Dunkley praised the comments of former PLP statesman Reggie Burrows and gave the OBA's take on the issue surrounding the governor's reasons for rejecting the commission.
We understand the challenges of the past and how some people were treated, perceived to be treated in an unjust fashion. However, the fact of the matter is, as Mr. Burrows said, but I also want to bring it to the attention of the people of Bermuda, the PLP were the government for 14 years. They had every opportunity to fix that issue and to address that issue. And even the honorable member who raised the motion in the House, Walton Brown, sat in the Senate for a period of time. He could have tabled a motion to deal with it. They did nothing. And so while the issue is not something that I just want to push to the side, because we do need to focus in on the challenges that people have in the past and try to move forward from there. Fact of the matter is, the PLP had an opportunity to deal with it. They didn't deal with it. Right now, this is a distraction from what we need to deal with in turning our economy around, creating jobs and opportunity for Bermudian people, which I and my colleagues are working on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to do.
Following a breakdown in the negotiations between Defence Broadcasting Limited and a management team headed by local businessman Spencer Conway, plans for a business alliance have been put on hold. A writ had been issued in the Supreme Court by Defence Broadcasting alleging misrepresentation, and this will need to be answered within the next 7 days unless future talks prove successful. In the meantime, a notice was served on Wednesday by Mr. Conway ordering Kenneth Defence, president of the company, to leave the Reed Street offices. The letter was rejected. This morning, in response to a warning that Mr. Conway planned to return to the offices at 11 a.m. with security officers, the main doors were locked for a short period of time. No such visit occurred, and the company is operating as normal. A video depicting a shark within the reef line off John Smith's Bay has gone viral and has gotten almost 1,500 views on YouTube. The video was taken by Michael Sinclair just days ago while he and his friend were out hunting for lionfish between 7:15 and 8:15 in the evening. Mr. Sinclair, who uploaded the video to YouTube, spoke to VSB's Julia Smatt about the encounter that occurred about 100 meters off the shoreline and stressed that he didn't want people to go into what he termed a shark frenzy.
My uncle had caught a lionfish, so he had spear, one had one on his spear. And then just coming around the reef, we came across this reef shark or dusky shark, we believe it is, and it just came up to kind of check us out, being a curious shark. And then what we did is we just hope deter it, because we're kind of in its territory, just to poke it off, and then we just kind of swam back to shore.
And you had mentioned that what you didn't want is for people to start to go into a panic. Can you elaborate on that?
Exactly, yeah. So we were kind of in their turf, and speaking with others and some scientists and fishermen, I guess it's common to see these sharks late at night, especially on the I guess the southern reef liners there, just because it's so close to the platform. And if you look up on Wikipedia, these sharks are basically, they become more active at night. They are attracted to low-frequency sounds, such as struggling fish, which kind of fits the profile. And then also, it being around just a full moon, it's all these things kind of align just for us to, for our luck to happen to kind of stumble across this shark. But I would say we didn't really feel threatened. It's just the video is not meant to be shared to kind of instill fear in people. It's just meant to be make people aware that are diving in this area and make them more vigilant while they're diving for, I guess, recreationally or looking for lionfish.
7 deserving students were the proud recipients of the latest Cablevision Community Service Awards. Some of the places the students had volunteered were the Eliza Doolittle Society Food Drive, the SPCA, and the NatWest Island Games. The 7 recipients were Gabriella Arnold, Victoria Clark, Louis Ahija Fogo, Rashun Robinson, Lalik Simmons, Brandon Souza, and Yana Thorne. Vsb News spoke with Rashun Robinson, who volunteered a whopping 900 hours to helping at the continuing care unit at KEMH.
By giving our time to them, I think they teach us lessons that we can learn later on in life too.
Now, did you have to do 900 hours or did you choose to?
I had to do 100 hours. 900 just happened to be there.
Because that's quite commendable. So out of all the things you could have done, what made you choose the charity work that you did?
I just think that working with the elderly was an important thing, because everybody decides to just disregard them in society now, but it was a good outlet for me in school, so it was good.
And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
We could use more volunteers.
We also spoke with Victoria Clark, who completed 662 hours of community service, primarily as a candy striper. Ms. Clark also took part in a trip to South Africa on a Round Square International Service project. She spoke to VSB News about the life-changing experience.
I went with a group called Round Square International Service Project. It's a Round Square organization. It's an international organization of schools around the world. And my school, BHS, is the only school in Bermuda which is part of this Round Square. And so I went with a group of 20 other students from all around the world. And once we got to South Africa, our main focus was building a kitchen for this underprivileged school. And we also worked on the garden. We rebuilt the garden. We built a play set for them. We also taught classes to the African children, which was really nice because they hadn't learned in the type of way that we had learned before, so that was nice. We also visited orphanages and we went to lots of safaris, well, not lots, but we went to some safaris, and we also went to a week's camp in a safari park, and some private safari, and it was very nice.
So here in Bermuda, you know, we're so blessed. We have an abundance of everything at our fingertips. What's one of the things that you might say that you took away that touched you the most from that experience?
I think the children and the African people would have really touched me the most. They were also happy and highly spirited, and they really were very appreciative of me being there helping them, and it didn't take much for me to make them smile. They were just happy that I was there at this school.
Still ahead on the TV11 News is Che with the weather preview.
Hey, thanks, Peter. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar. Well, not much going on, but we got that Bermuda Azores high headed our way.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
You can count on us.
Start grilling this cup match with Purdue fresh chicken thighs or drumsticks. $1.99 per pound. Juicy whole seedless watermelons, $12.99 each. For your mac and cheese dish, Catelli macaroni, $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Save $1.71 on Libby's mayonnaise $4.09 for a 32-ounce jar. For the holiday, 6-packs, regular or Diet Coke, $4.99. Have a safe and enjoyable Cup Match holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
Do you know your rights as a consumer? Visit the Consumer Affairs website to find out how to hire a contractor, how to buy and maintain your vehicle, information on buying secondhand goods, tips for seniors and teens, personal finance tips, product recall information, to file a complaint with Consumer Affairs. For the latest consumer news and much more, visit ca.gov.bm.
The celebration of a Bermuda cricket legend is brought to you by Belco, Lindo's, Bex, Butterfield & Vallis, BAC, Colonial Insurance, Corona, Bermuda Bistro, and BF&M. Alma Champ Hunt was born in 1910 and is considered by many as still the greatest cricketer Bermuda has ever produced. He played for Somerset Cricket Club in the Cup Match Classic and was the first to score half-centuries in both Cup Match innings, with a total of 147 runs, at the time a new aggregate record. He finished his Cup Match career with a total of 762 runs and would have been much higher if he had not left to play professional cricket in Scotland, and was the first Bermudian to play professional cricket in the UK. During his time with Aberdeenshire, he scored 22 centuries. He played for Scotland's national team twice in 1938 against Australia and Yorkshire. Although he was not selected, he was asked to play in trial matches to be considered for the 1933 West Indies tour of England, and remains to this date the only Bermudian to have this honor. His eventual omission was more due to doubts about a Bermudian's eligibility to play for the West Indies rather than his ability. Internationally renowned cricket historian Alan Massey listed Alma Hunt among the 4 greatest cricketers he had ever seen. Alma Champ Hunt, celebrating a Bermudian cricket legend.
With the upcoming Cup Match holidays and summer beach activities, sun worshippers can now have added protection while still enjoying the warm rays. Thanks to the just-launched Daily Ultraviolet Index, a partnership with the Bermuda Cancer and Health Center and the Bermuda Weather Service will provide daily information to help Bermudians protect themselves from the risk of skin cancer. Adjuri Williams, the center's SunSmart coordinator, explains.
The benefit is that our Bermuda Weather Service can give us accurate data so that we are alerted as to what kind of sun protection we need while we're out in the sun. When we're out for extended periods, if the levels are extremely high, then we know, okay, we need a hat, we need sunglasses, we need sunscreen. We need to be protected so we're not at risk for skin cancer development or even cataracts.
But don't people already know that by just putting on a hat and some sun cream?
Well, actually, I can't speak for everyone and what they know, but we do know that some people tend not to want to protect themselves. But when it comes to the ultraviolet index, we're getting readings from a global perspective as to what the ultraviolet radiation is occurring for that particular day. So daily we'll receive the readings and people will know, okay, today it's hot, really hot, it's an 11 plus. We need to protect ourselves with extra protection, not just one form of protection.
So what do you say to people who look like me, who have this feeling that the sun doesn't bother us?
Well, it is a myth that people of color do not get skin cancer. Skin cancer is colorblind. It can hit anyone. And we have had reported cases of people of color being diagnosed and even dying from skin cancer.
So what do you hope to get across to the Bermudians about this protection? What sort of plan do you have?
Well, we go into the schools and we give presentations promoting sun-smart behaviors, but now that we are working alongside with Bermuda Weather Service, it's critical that those people who are working outdoors, playing sports, we have Cup Match coming up, and those cricketers out in the sun, they have to take precautions. And the UV index is the perfect way to look at the weather, what's going to be happening today. It's extra hot. We have a reading of 11 plus, which is normal for this time of year in Bermuda, which is the higher number on the scale. we need to protect ourselves.
Williams says the sun's rays are at their highest levels between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. A full weekend of art, music and sport has been organized for the 3rd annual Peace Day celebrations, due to take place here in Bermuda from Friday, September 19th to Sunday, September 21st. Organizer Tony Brannan reckons it will be the best of the peace concerts to date.
We've actually got a fantastic weekend planned of events, Bermuda Peace Weekend, art, music and road running. And of course, the art exhibit will be in the Bermuda Society of Arts, 250 pieces of artwork by Bermuda school kids to raise money for Kaleidoscope Arts Foundation. We've got the road race that will be through the city streets. That'll be on Peace Day, Sunday, September 21st. And then on September 19th, we have the 3rd annual Bermuda Peace Day concert, which is going to feature a range of brilliant artists coming to Bermuda to perform, as well as local musicians and entertainers and so on and so forth. And I think the setting at Bermuda Botanical Gardens is fantastic. The aim is to raise $150,000 amongst all 3 events for charity in Bermuda, which I think we can easily do. The community can get out and support this. It'll be fantastic. We've got amazing musicians coming to Bermuda. I'm really, really lucky that my good friend Andy Newmark, who played with John Lennon on Double Fantasy and of course grew up here in Bermuda, is coming over to Bermuda with Hamish Stewart from the Average White Band and a bunch of incredible musicians from England to perform. We also have Biggie Irie and Splash Band coming back to play reggae and soca, which will be fantastic. We have a brilliant artist from England called Jamie Lawson. We have the Silken Strings, which are 3 fabulous girls that play classical music on electric violins and also play contemporary music on electric violins. So it's going to be a great night. The other thing is that we're offering a special on anybody that would buy a ticket or a table before July 31st, 10% off, just so to help out with the current state of the economy. Lock it in, get your ticket, get your hillside ticket, get your table ticket, whatever. There's different categories of tickets that you can get on ptix.bm. So it'll be a great night. It's going to be, I actually believe the music this year will surpass and blow away anything we've done prior.
Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Here are your daily markets presented by Bias. Global equity markets sold off broadly as investors focused on reports of a Malaysian plane crash in Ukraine and rising tensions in the Middle East. In the U.S., stocks broadly declined as geopolitical tensions escalated. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended 0.94% down, lower at 16,977 points. The S&P 500 fell the most in 3 months, down 1.18% to close at 1,968 points. Today on the Bermuda Stock Exchange, 30,225 shares of Butterfield Bank traded at $1.99 per share, and 5,000 shares of Keytech traded at $3.50 per share. Sanctions against Russia intended to curb violence sent European equities lower today. The FTSE 100 dropped 0.68% to 66,738 points. Germany's DAX fell slightly more by 1.07% to 9,754. Asian markets were only slightly changed on the day, with the Australian Stock Exchange ending in positive territory on the back of strength in material and industrial stocks. Latin American equity markets were lower, with Argentina's Merval Index falling the most amongst peers by 1.84%. Brazil's Bovespa fell 0.2% to 55,606. Treasury prices rallied along with gold as the demand for safe haven assets rose amid escalating tension in Ukraine and the Middle East. The benchmark 10-year yield dropped 7 basis points to 2.45%. The Japanese yen strengthened against the U.S. dollar after reports a Malaysian jet was shot down over the Ukraine. The yen was 0.44% higher at the end of trading. And that was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after the break.
You can count on us.
For your Cut Match picnic, save half price on Dole coleslaw, $1.99 for a 14-ounce bag. Frozen baby back pork spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. Brush on your favorite ribs, Kraft barbecue sauce, $1.69 for an 18-ounce bottle. 3.75-ounce bag, all varieties, Wise potato chips, just $1.49. Breyer's ice cream, $6.29 for all varieties of 48-ounce tubs. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more Super Cut Match specials.
Are you frustrated and confused by complex online banking systems? The quickest, easiest way to pay bills is with EasyPay.
They're very good. They're excellent. I'd recommend them all the time. EasyPay is the easy way.
The whole reason I joined EasyPay is because of what the name stands for. It's very easy to pay.
I've been using EasyPay for over 10 years. It really is an easy product to use.
Bill payment doesn't get any easier than EasyPay. Email Dal at easypay.bm or visit easypay.bm.
Biggie Irie and Splash Band are coming to Bermuda. Biggie Irie and Splash Band at the Peace Day concert, September 19th. All tickets 10% off before July 31st.
Through an agreement between the Bermuda Olympic Association and IslandStats.com, sports enthusiasts watching Vsb Tv News will be getting up-close coverage of the Bermuda athletes taking part in the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Scotland from July 23rd to August 3rd. Vsb sports editor Earl Baisden will be on the ground in Scotland gathering data for the Bermuda Olympic Association Library, and this will allow him to provide VSB television and radio news with exclusive coverage that focuses on Bermudian athletes and officials as they take part in the friendly games. Now, let's join Earl Baisden with the rest of tonight's sports report.
The Bermuda Football Association announced the players and officials that will make up the Bermuda Under-17 national team that will compete in the Caribbean Football Union's Under-17 World Cup qualifiers in the Bahamas. Bermuda will take on Puerto Rico, Martinique, and the host country Bahamas. Following the Caribbean Football Union Under-17 Group 4 matches in the Bahamas, the team will travel to Mexico to participate in the third Copa Mexico tournament. Bermuda received an invite to participate in this event as a result of their performance at the CONCACAF Under-15 tournament held in Cayman Islands last year. Bermuda has been drawn in Group D with Colombia, Portugal, and Chile. The team will be led by head coach Andrew Bascom with assistant coach Carl Roberts. Andrew Darney is the assistant coach with Mark Wade, the head of delegation. The Bermuda select team went down 4-0 to host the United States of America in their second game of the National Training Center's Invitational in California last evening. The Invitational is more of a training camp for Australia, Chile, and the United States of America, who are all using under 20 players, with Bermuda allowed to use overage players. The 2014 Caribbean Junior Squash Championships continued at the Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club last evening with team championship matches taking place. Guyana defeated Bermuda in boys Pool A action. Dylan Pratt and Keon Knight both won their games. Same team was later defeated by Trinidad and Tobago 3-2. Nia Smith and Knight both won their matches. Bermuda went down 4-1 to Guyana in the girls' Pool A division, with Olivia Lindsay picking up the lone win for Bermuda. Bermuda improved to 2-0 in the North American Caribbean Rugby Association's Under-19 Championships in Trinidad with a 34-7 win over the British Virgin Islands. Bermuda got 2 tries from Granville Lyons and single tries from Kamal Easton, James Patterson, and Stephen Edwards. Roy Dublin added a penalty and a conversion, while Easton kicked 2 conversions. The 2014 Wednesday Night Sailing Series continued with 33 boats going to the start line for Race Day 12. Nasty Medicine was the first boat to cross the line with a time of 101.51. With the corrected time of 107.28, so them finished first on the night. Next across the line was Elusive, clocking a time of 114.18, and with a corrected time of 109.39, so them finished third on the night. Mayhem crossed the line next with a time of 114.46, the corrected time of 110.06, so them finished fifth on the night. With a corrected time of 108.56, so Thrash finished second. Capricorn finished fourth on the night with a corrected time of 103.20. I'm Earl Baston reporting for Vsb Sports.
Looking for a new workout? Need to lose weight? Move more, Bermuda, and dance it off with us at Bermuda Jazzercise with Valentina. You've seen us on Facebook, and your friends have told you you've got to try it. Well, now is the time. Check out our Facebook page, Bermuda Jazzercise with Valentina, or simply drop in at 5:30 any Monday or Tuesday at St. Andrew's Church Hall in Hamilton, across from HSBC Bank on Church Street. Come on down, get healthy, and have fun with us at Bermuda Jazzercise with Valentina.
Outlast any storm with the most advanced alkaline battery. This weather segment is brought to you by Duracell Quantum.
Well, the wind and rain made way for what actually turned out to be a pretty pleasant afternoon. I'm Shea Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shot for today. Another great one taken here by Raymond Ray. This one taken at 12:50 over Tuckerstown. And you can see it was actually a little bit windy. You see some squalls. There was definitely some rain now and then. We got about half an inch, which is great because we definitely needed it. But this is just a lovely shot overlooking the rocks and down in Tuckerstown. I believe this is Sam Hall's Bay. Pretty cool. Thanks again to Raymond Ray for sending this one in. Our highs and lows for today. Well, it was warm, 84 degrees at 1 p.m. Our low temperature, 1 a.m. this morning, 74 degrees. Currently, we're looking at 80 degrees, humidity is 75%. Winds out of the south at 16 knots, and the barometric pressure is steady at 30.25 inches. So far for July, well, like I said, about half an inch of rain brings the total up to 1.36 inches. Total for the year so far, 28 inches. Yeah, we're still lagging, though, the 29.29 inches we'd have normally seen. Take a look at our satellite map. All right, now, as this Bermuda Azores high reestablishes the ridge over the area, fair weather will prevail with easing winds from early Friday right through the weekend and beyond, which is great news for people like me who have absolutely no plans for the weekend. Beach. Let's take a look at the gateway cities. It'll be Atlanta at 88 and partly cloudy, mostly sunny and 79 in Boston. Charlotte, mostly cloudy and 87. 90 degrees in London and sunny. Wow. 89 and possible thunderstorms in Miami. New York, mostly sunny and 83. Orlando, partly cloudy and 93. Philadelphia, mostly sunny and 86. 75 and sunny in Toronto. And Washington, partly cloudy and 85. For tonight, we're looking at a low temperature of around 77. Winds out of the south at 16 to 24 knots, so still pretty gusty, but they will decrease to 14 to 18 knots overnight. For tomorrow, high temperature of around 84. Mix of sun and clouds. We've got a UV index of 11, which is actually extreme. So if you're going to be out in the sun, especially if you've got kids, make sure you take them a hat, put them in a shirt, use your sunblock. Tourists, this is especially for you. Keep safe while you're out there. Winds out of the south-southeast at 14 to 18 knots, but they will decrease to 10 to 15 knots later on. For tonight, small craft warning in effect for mariners. Seas inside the reef, 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside the reef, 4 to 6 feet. And your sea temperature, and it is nice, 84 degrees. For mariners tomorrow, no small craft warnings in effect, 1 to 2 feet inside the reef. Seas outside, 4 to 6 feet. Low tide at 8:13 a.m. and your high tide at all twos, 2:22 p.m. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. On Friday, it'll get a mix of sun and clouds, high of 84. Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 85. Sunday, partly cloudy, high of 85. Monday, going to warm up even more, mostly sunny, 86. And on Tuesday, partly cloudy, high of 84. I'd like to thank the Bermuda Weather Service and a special shout out to Gene Outerbridge, who was so nice to me. Gene, I hope you're watching. Love you, mate. Here's your bad joke for the day. A little boy swallows a roll of quarters. His grandmother calls up later, says, "How is he?" His father said, "Well, no change yet." That's it for me. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you again soon.
Outlast any storm with the most advanced alkaline battery. Today's weather forecast was brought to you by Duracell Quantum.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV 11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Outfit for Che Barker provided by Alexander at the English Sports Shop.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.